I have officially launched, not my merch, that's still being worked on. I've officially launched my social medias. So go ahead and follow me at Bronx Banter, all one word, on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, on X/Twitter, on Bronx_Banter. But follow me on all those social media platforms. I'm going to be trying to post news there, if anything, because it's harder to kind of get a video out sometimes when I'm out in at work or in the open. I may be breaking news there sooner than when I do in a YouTube video. It may not be as in depth, but that's why you come to the channel to check out my personal opinions on it. But follow me there. Again, Instagram, X, TikTok, Facebook. I'm posting news there all the time. Follow me there. We'll appreciate the support. So that way we could grow the community, grow the channel, keep the connection and conversation going there. See you guys there. Follow. Thank you guys. What is up, guys? This is David from Bronx Banter coming at you with another episode. We have an update for Gerrit Cole, and I have mixed feelings about it. I've actually just peeked at some other Yankees content creators and what they've had to say about it. Some are relieved, some are not so relieved, some are upset, some are happy. I am slightly relieved. I'm more on the line of relieved, believe it or not, because if you don't know from the last episode, I was so stressed and worried about what it could mean. I know I said what it could mean for us to miss a single start from Cole, just because our team is so dependent on Cole being our ace, considering our starting pitching rotation situation. But I'm just so glad to know that it's not Tommy John. With the delay in getting back an MRI and the news related to the MRI, had me worried that maybe it was Tommy John. It was going to be very complicated. And it's weird. It's not Tommy John from what they say because they found no tear in the UCL, but it's not as simple as we think. And so they come out and had said that Gerrit Cole is going to be out for at least 1 to 2 months. According to the Post, it says Yankees ace Gerrit Cole will be out at least 1 to 2 months and will head to Los Angeles for an appointment with noted sports surgeon Dr. Neil Alatrosh. And then it says, we have avoided Tommy John, thankfully, because they located no tear in the UCL. But there's enough concern about the ligament that Dr. Alatrosh has suggested an in-person visit to get a better look. So they aren't positive on the diagnosis, hence why maybe they took so long to kind of get back to us and telling the public, which is kind of still scary to think about. So we don't know. We can't say, oh, it's just fatigue, it's just inflammation, though there is inflammation. They don't have an exact diagnosis. And so he has to come in person to LA for the doctor. Again, most notable doctor. This doctor has seen many, many injuries for him to get a better diagnosis of the situation. Now, it is good practice of the doctor to not just jump out and just come up with a diagnosis because he's unsure. He's being very thorough, which I respect and I appreciate. But at the same time, my emotions don't appreciate it because me being a Yankee fan, of course a Cole fan, he's our ace, has me worried on what exactly this means. It says that they can anticipate a return as early as 1 to 2 months. But if you don't know the full diagnosis, you don't necessarily fully know when he's going to return. At least that's what I would think. So I'm glad that he doesn't have Tommy John. I'm glad that we're going to see him this year. And if anything, we're going to see him in the most important games of this year, being heading into the second half of the season, where in the first half, we have pitchers that can come up like Poteet, Beater, Warren, which reports and scouts have said that they're ready to pop soon, according to them. So I'm excited to see what they could do. It's kind of that next man up mentality, which I'm kind of open for. But also, I don't want to retract on my statement before when we had Cole that I still kind of want another big arm to support our rotation. We have concerns. I've talked ad nauseum about this, but with Rodon, Stroman, though, I believe he's going to be great for us this year. There are some things to be aware of and concerned about. Schmidt is not supposed to be the anchor of a rotation right now. And Cortez, again, we're uncertain. We have uncertainties with Cortez. So I don't want to backtrack on the idea that I feel like I still want a big arm. Some big arms out there are Cease and Snell. I'm leaning more towards Cease. But at the same time, I'm very much open, especially in the beginning of the season. I'm very, very excited and open to see maybe what guys like Cody Petit, Warren, and Hampton can do, because they've been doing really, really well, especially as of late in spring training. So I'm very, very excited to see what they could do for us. And again, one thing I want to note about, and maybe this is just me coping, but we would have never known how good of a starter Michael King would turn out to be last year if we didn't need him to start games. In that same way, we won't know how good Cody Petit could be for us, which I think he has a very high ceiling, or Warren or Beater can be for us in the regular season if we don't give him chances to pitch. Hal Steinbrenner has even come out and said that they do expect guys like Will Warren and Beater to make an appearance at some point. We also got Luis Heel, which could make a start or two. So we have a lot of guys that are just right there knocking on the door. And not that I wanted Gerrit Cole to be out for this to happen. Obviously, I want my ace to be there at all times. But I'm trying to find a silver lining in all this. And I'm just excited to see what could happen. And again, if this injury was happening in the second half of the season, I would not be excited. But because this is the beginning of the season, and yes, game 1 of the season matters just as much as game 162, but we still got guys ramping up. We still got guys figuring it out. We still got players and teams figuring out their rosters to a certain degree at this point. So I'm excited to see what we can uncover in this first 2 months of the season. So then we can maybe even see, hey, when September comes and we got to call them up again, we know exactly who to call up because they performed well for us in the first or second month. So again, there's negatives and positives to take out of it. I don't want Cole to be injured at all, but there's positives to take from this. And I'm excited to see that the Yankees are still, despite this, are still proactive in getting someone like Cease, though they don't seem to be the front runners. Teams like the Rangers and the Padres seem to be the front runners. We're still in the race, and I'm still excited to see. And again, if this trade cannot require Spencer Jones, I'm okay with it. Especially because Cole's only going to be out for 1 to 2 months versus Tommy John, which would take a season or even 2 full seasons. Again, I don't think you understand how much we dodged a bullet from Tommy John. Because if he had Tommy John, he could be out till he's 35 years old. He's 33 right now, if I'm not mistaken. So he could have been out for some people don't return from Tommy John for 2 full seasons till maybe the end of the following season, which means that he would come back at age 35. No offense. You're 35. I know pitchers age a little bit differently than the position players, but you're kind of an old head. Judge will be 33 by that point. I don't anticipate him having an MVP-like season at 33. He could, but I'm not jumping the gun or betting anything on that. So we would completely miss the important years of that Cole and Judge era of winning a ring in that era. So I'm glad that we kind of dodged that. Now, obviously, knock on wood, things could still happen even after Cole returns. Cole hasn't shown that history, but either way, despite all this, with the 1 to 2 month time frame, I'm relieved about that. Again, that is happening in the beginning of the season, so I encourage you guys to be relieved as well. It's better than what it could have turned out to be. And whether we go Cease or we go internal, listen, if we get Cease, I'm excited for what that means for the postseason. We'll have a 1 through 3, which, first of all, Rodon is looking good now. I called it. I'll talk about it in the catch-up episode. He's back up to throwing 97, and I feel like it's because now he's starting to ramp up. His fastball was looking slow. Now he's ramping up, and he's starting to do great. I think he went 5 innings or 4 innings, 1 earned run, which I'll take. But you could have a rotation of Cole, Stroman or Rodon, and then Cease in the postseason is just disgusting, I think. So I'm excited of what acquiring Cease could mean for the postseason. But if not, I'm okay with going internally just to remedy the rotation for the first 2 months. Again, we have a different offense in our lineup that could hopefully compensate for maybe the extra run, 2 runs, 3 runs that we may give up with Cole being out each of his starts. So let me know what you guys think. How are you feeling? Are you relieved? Are you not relieved? Are you upset? Are you happy? Are you just kind of meh about it all? Are you uncertain, nervous? I understand every position here, but I can't help but just be so relieved that it's not Tommy John. That's just kind of where my brain goes. And if you liked today's episode, please make sure you subscribe down below. It'll truly mean the world. Check out what YouTube suggests will be a great video for you. And also, The Martian wants you to subscribe. Judge wants you to subscribe. So make sure you do. And until next time, peace and be blessed.